just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted, and the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could do. Like this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. They was like help. The whole crowd was just going like help, help, help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make. Y'all see everything, like, you know, like I've been so heavily influenced by Travis, but like after tonight, bro, like God really showed me, like, you know, like stay away from that shit, bro. Like that shit not for you, cause like he sacrificed so many people's lives tonight, like for real. Like so many people's lives are gone tonight because they want to go to a fucking Travis Scott concert and have fun. You know, he influenced people to be raging and all this shit. So many people broke in and it was just chaos, bro. It was a living fucking hell, bro. Imagine seeing all those dead bodies, and that was just by me.
You know how I knew for sure that this was going to end up being another sacrifice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That and the fact that the head witch of the Kardashian clan turned 66 that same day. Call halal Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, Yasharala. Now, we got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Now, the elite do everything by numbers. Let's back that up and try to filter this. Well, not try, but let's filter this latest music debacle. Really a success for those who perform the ceremony. In any event, let's go to the scriptures. That is why you are here, and really this is the only way to separate the conspiracy theory from conspiracy fact that's been brewing on the internet ever since this thing went down. Let's start with this. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 7, and it reads, Surely the Lord power, whose name is Yahweh, will do nothing but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Now, King Solomon, who the elitists and the master masons revere, asks, Canst thou tell concerning the name of the Lord and his only begotten son Yahweh Shai in Proverbs 30:4, because it is a secret revealed only to who? The election of Israel. This is who he reveals his dark sayings and the unknown things of the world to. The Hebrew word for truth is a math, where we get the word math. Ergo, if it doesn't add up, then it don't make sense. And if it don't make sense, then where should your time and efforts be spent learning this truth? Ecclesiasticus 19:22 says this, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. Ergo, these witches and warlocks performing these occult, which really only means secret, rituals are not wiser than those who fear the Lord, pursuant to Proverbs 9:10. They ain't got nothing on the elect, and their way is not the road you want to travel. Straight into the point. So what do we know? What actually makes sense and is not conjecture based on silly, superstitious beliefs? First, quickly, let's look at the naming and wording that went into this seance. Remembering this truth as so taught by the apostles and elders on down. You got to know your words, the etymology of words, to get to the root of what they actually mean, because most are calling this reported mishap a ritual sacrifice, which partly is right, but really this started out as a seance, an all-out attempt to make contact with the so-called dead, really spirits, through the agency of a medium, i.e. the medium being Travis Scott, Drake, and whoever else participated willingly or not being footed on the bill, leading into what would become the ritual sacrifice of 8. Even though the corporate media is sticking to the number 8, what that young brother described in the opening clip I wouldn't be surprised if the body count was a lot more, but 8 seems to be the running theme in the news lately. Starting with Mr. Zuckerberg and his rolling out of the new Facebook name change, Meta, which the Israelis are saying is pronounced like the, what are they saying? The feminine form of the Hebrew word for dead. What you have to understand is everything is connected. This ceremony being performed was being cultivated for a really long time now. It's called preparing the sheep for the slaughter. In any event, we know that what they are referring to is the Yiddish and not the Paleo Hebrew or the Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue. Yiddish and the original Hebrew is not the same, but you know what? That's another lesson. I just had to point that out. Now, according to the online Etymon dictionary, meta is a word forming element of Greek origin, meaning after, Salakia, behind, among, between, changed, altered, higher, beyond, from Greek meta, in the midst of, in common with, by means of, between, in pursuit, or quest of, after, next, after, behind, in compounds, most often meaning change of place and condition, etc. Important to point out because we won't know what to look for if we don't know how these rituals and elite messaging amongst peers work, right? In any event, the new Meta logo looks like the mathematical symbol that represents the concept of infinity, which is shaped like, you guessed it, a number 8. Now let's look into the word astro, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's look into the word astral or astral. The online dictionary pretty much defines them as the same. Astral relating to the stars, celestial objects, or outer space. Astral meaning of, connected with, or resembling the stars. And goes on to say relating to a supposed non-physical realm of existence to which various psychic and paranormal phenomena are ascribed, and which the physical human body is said to have a counterpart. Spiritual beings from the astral plane, hence this portal that was erected at the show and its stage. So in layman's terms, and let me slow this down because I want y'all to get this. In layman's terms, these celebrities, i.e. lesser luminaries or stars, are being used as mediums. Incidentally, media it is described as a collective noun referring to the mass media. Television, where you are able to watch music videos and movies, and another example, of course, would be print periodicals like newspapers, but in a digital form on the World Wide Web. However, media is the plural of medium. And what's a medium? For those of you late to the buffet table, a medium is an intermediate agency. Intermediate meaning coming between two things, in which the message of a spiritual force is conveyed, i.e. a psychic, a tarot card reader, a diviner, one that deals with familiar spirits. Another example is what you've seen take place here. Travis Scott and Drake on the stage performing their seance. This is what your favorite rappers and singers have become. Mediums being used to connect you to spiritual entities that are of a demonic nature. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. A demon is simply an evil spirit. Ev meaning age or time, ill meaning bad. Ergo, the spirits responsible for the so-called bad experience you are sure to encounter when you do the things that are adverse to Yahweh's laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what is meant by an agent of the Lord that works on the left-hand side. Second Chronicles, let's go to 18 and 18. And it says this, again he said, therefore hear the word of Yahweh. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. And Yahweh said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. Then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And Yahweh said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. So these so-called truth tubers talking about fallen angels don't know what the hell they are talking about to you. And if you're teaching the fallen angels made me do it conspiracy theory, you need to stop. There are no fallen angels. These evil angels, angels who work on the left-hand side, or angels created for bad times, were always in place. They never fell from nowhere and have never worked independently of the Most High power. They were created for the purpose of doing Yahweh's will. Psalm 78 and 49. He, being Yahweh, cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. So these spirits are what your mainstream artists are channeling, attempting to channel and conjure up in their videos and at their concerts. We know this to be a conspiracy fact, because what do they rap and sing about? What do they promote? Violence, murder, death, killing, homicide, the abuse of drugs and alcohol, materialism, carnal acts, perverse sexual acts, pride in self, boasting in accomplishments, independence away from the Most High, the opposite of what is deemed righteousness, human displays that are cruel and wicked in nature, not to mention all the encoded messaging being hidden in the music and their videos, unbeknownst to you, that you can't wait to download on your iPhone, secretly wearing on your subconscious. I keep telling y'all, you are what you eat. That includes what you listen to and what you allow to invade in your spiritual well-being. Incidentally, conspiracy or conspire literally means to breathe together. Con meaning with, spire meaning to breathe, where you get the word inspire, to breathe into. We men of the Lord teaching this truth have been inspired. Breathe into meaning given the understanding by the Holy Spirit. Conspiracy or to conspire is defined by the Etymon dictionary as a plotting of evil or a combination of persons for an evil purpose. That's all it means, and it's all it's ever meant before the powers that shouldn't be turned it into a buzzword for fairy tale. This is how they attempt to hide the proof that is right in front of your face. It's up to you to believe what you see or not. Let's go to Isaiah 29 and 15. And it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? This is the hidden counsel of the wicked working overtly and covertly. Looking at the promotional artwork for the Astral World event. Look at the imagery being used in the live performance with do it with your spiritual eyes, if you got them. Believe me when I tell you, because it's blatant and in your face, if the spirit is dealing with you, the symbolism will say to you that it reeks of witchcraft. Dystopian is defined as relating to or denoting an imagined state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. The dystopian future of a society bereft of reason. At one point in the performance, you can see Travis Scott chant in autotune over a lifeless body being transported through the crowd. Then there's I don't know if y'all see it. Maybe I'll put it in a post. Then there's Nigarachi dancing on the ambulance. This, in fact, was a celebration of death. 8 dead. Infinite death. Infinite death is coming. This is how these elite demons speak to you and each other. This is how they usher in their agendas, performing ritual sacrifices, speaking symbolically and in codes, and the sheep being led to the slaughter starts with you nighty-night Israelites, you 2/3 of Israel still asleep. Those of us wide awake and in this truth know that through Yahweh's sacrifice, death has long been abolished. 2 Timothy 1 and 10, the latter, and hath brought life and immortality to light through the gospel, which is this good news that Israel has a savior, redeemer, and deliverer in Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, who is coming to, in the power and spirit, to recompense the world for its wickedness against Israel and against the Most High power, Yahweh. Dystopia, an imagined state or society in which there is great suffering or injustice, typically one that is totalitarian, Salakia, or post-apocalyptic. What's post-apocalyptic? Denoting or relating to the time following a nuclear war or other catastrophic event. denoting or relating to the time following the biblical apocalypse. Don't tell me that the missiles and the lasers coming from the chariots of the Lord isn't a part of Armageddon, the final woe in the lake of fire. Esau is telling you right here, this ceremony being performed was to help usher that event into existence. So we are at the end, ladies and gentlemen. They know it, you know it, I know it. Where the elite think they are going to hide in their bunkers while Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua returns to deliver the Lord's judgment. That's what is going on here. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. What does the flyer say? It says it right here. When the end arrives, it's really the beginning. And that, you can't write this, man. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is conspiracy fact. Psalm 83. Let's jump to Psalm 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut off Salakia. Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. To take counsel and to conspire are synonymous in terms of wording in the scriptures. That crafty counsel is the nations who stand confederate against we so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, starting with Esau, Dum-Dum, attempting to convince us we are nothing more than niggas and spicks, beaners and coons, mere sources for, as the elders put it, labor and servitude, and not the true children of the Most High. Under the guise of entertainment, we have become their favorite form of distraction from what is truth and righteousness. How many times have you heard it's only music, it's only entertainment? Now, I've said this in other lessons, and I'm going to bring this out again. For those of you who don't know, in the past, music was recorded and mixed in 432 hertz. Hertz is the metric unit of frequency. Frequency is basically the number of vibrations or sound waves per second. The integrating of 440 hertz and not 432 is the signature Salakia explanation for a change of mood in today's music, okay? Mentally, it is said to make you and leave you tense, as well as a major contributor to feelings of anxiety. This is why taking Xanax, out like a light, you heard it, out like a light, and promethazine, i.e. lean, aka dirty Sprite, does that all sound familiar? Have been incorporated into the culture and hip-hop lifestyle. What it does is sedate and calms the brain from that impact of high energy. So when you listen to music created at 432 hertz, you are said to experience a slower pulse and heart rate, lower blood pressure, and decreased levels of stress hormones, because the earth itself has a frequency of 8 hertz, meaning the earth's surface vibrates 8 times per second. This perfectly correlates with the 432 hertz system. Now here's a study quote on music creation at 440 hertz. Music created with a frequency of 440 hertz or more not only eliminates harmonization with the planet, its vibrational pattern stimulates the brain and body in opposing ways, right? That's why you have these young brothers and sisters going off and doing all this madness and craziness. And may I say, that's why you have some of these devils being able to finally dance on beat. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. And I can't say that every one of them, yeah, they might have the spirit of Jake. They might be an Israel. No, some of these devils is on because of what they're doing to these hurt frequencies. Remember where you heard it first, man. I did music for 30 some odd years. I know what I'm seeing. And it just doesn't sit right. Amos 5 and 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Another reason why we just teach the truth and don't mix it with secular music. Do we make music references? Absolutely. I mean, but the vibration of this truth is already a song, and anything else is just excessive. Today's music is about mind control. Travis Scott, the MC. Drake, the MC. The masters of ceremony. What ceremonies? These rituals of mind control. Casting spells through chanting and manipulating your emotions by the mood the music sets. Every time this nigga does a show, a concert, social gathering, whatever, somebody dies. Do your own research. For those of you who've seen the Drink Champ's interview with Kanye West. I'm not really going to get into that, but something important to point out is that he was talking about, he kind of made this known in regards to his comments about the manipulation of sounds. But listen, I don't want y'all to be fooled. Jay Drake, Kanye, Travis Scott, the Kardashians, all down with the Baphomet. In that same interview, you have Kanye trying to normalize universal basic income, which is an elitist agenda. So never mind what you see or can't see being detrimental. A lot of y'all, your spiritual ears are closed too. Let's get some more scripture and close out. Matter of fact, let's briefly go into another word that has to do with sound. And I'm not going to totally go into it right now, but I want to just plant the seed for those of you who are sincere listening to my channel. The word is hypersonic. Hyper meaning over, above, beyond, exceedingly, in excess. Kind of sounds like the same definition for meta. A lot of the same adjectives. Sonic meaning denoting, relating to, or the nature of sound or sound waves. From the Latin for sound, sonus. Now, what speed is considered hypersonic? For aircraft speeds which are much greater than the speed of sound, the aircraft is said to be hypersonic. We know that hypersonic weaponry is the latest in military innovation. As I said, I'm not going to totally go into it. We'll save that for another lesson, but I will say it isn't a coincidence that sound and the idea of using it in relation to weaponry has been coming into play as of late. You know what? Let's do this. This is Luke 16:8. Yahushua tells us in the latter part, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. The children of this world is in reference to Esau, Edom. Wiser partially because he has the economic resources to search out the things of the earth, those hidden things that, us that are not privy to the same information and resources, we don't know. They discover it. Wise in terms of also procuring the resources it takes to maintain their houses. Psalm 17:14 being the precept and it reads, from men which are thy hand, and thy left hand, meaning doing the Lord's will. O Yahweh, and again, speaking of Esau, Edom. O Yahweh, from men of the world which have their portion in this life. Again, Esau, Edom, having their heart's desire. As Elder Gabar brought out, the only thing left to excite them is power over everything. Hence these, I wouldn't even say the rituals, but hence them wanting to chip to give you that MOTB. And we'll leave it at that. And whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes, i.e. they have the resources to carry out, as I was saying, carry out their mischief, their evil acts, and their oppression against the poor. This is speaking of the Rothschilds and the elite banking families, as I alluded to earlier, particularly in how they acquired their wealth. It is they, through the Spirit, who have devised these cunning instruments of death. I mean, they wouldn't have the know-how if it wasn't for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and, him wanting to, it's basically doing his will. But in any event, it is they that employ these mechanisms related to sound and at the speed it travels in all facets, speaking to low vibrational music, manipulating sonic waves and frequencies to induce the psychotic episodes you see taking place. They even do it using these same frequencies to bring about disease and sickness. Again, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Now, I found this scientific tidbit that relates to this mad scientist named Esau. Something to think about in terms of who's really in control. And I think it's just a great note to go out on. And it says this: light travels much faster than sound, partly because it does not need to travel through a medium. Out like a light, out like a light. Not the children of light. We can never go out. You heard? Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Akakwadash through the power and spirit. I hope you were edified. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach us 100% truth and rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Remember, no testity test, no jabbity jab, damn sure. When the time presents itself, Yasharallah. Don't take that chip. Kwame Asharala, Wa Ababa Ba. Shalom.